The sun may still be shining over the city of angels, but for the Forresters, the Spencers, and everyone tangled in the drama of the bold and the beautiful, a storm is brewing, one that promises to leave lives forever changed. As Friday, July 4th, dawns, a sense of dread creeps into the elegant offices of Forrester Creations. What should have been a holiday marked by peace, celebration, and family has turned into a powder keg of secrets, betrayal, and danger. Luna Nozawa, once seen as a sweet and promising new addition to the Forrester universe, is now a fugitive, armed, emotionally unhinged, and on a mission. Her target? Steffy Forrester, a woman she believes has wronged her in unforgivable ways. Meanwhile, Ridge Forrester, always the patriarch and protector, is stepping into high gear. He's furious, confused, and determined to bring order back to the chaos swirling around his family. Joined by Hope Logan and Liam Spencer, Ridge starts to piece together the fragments of a rapidly unfolding nightmare. With Luna on the run following a botched sting involving young Will Spencer, time is running out. They fear what she might do next, if she hasn't already done it. But what Ridge, Hope, and Liam don't know is that they're already too late. At that very moment, across town at a secluded beach house, Steffy Forrester is staring down the barrel of Luna's gun. What began as a confrontation over betrayal has spiraled into something far more dangerous, something deeply personal and emotionally explosive. Steffy, fierce and proud, isn't backing down. But Luna isn't there to talk. She's there to be heard. And she's ready to go to extremes to make sure she gets the justice she thinks she deserves. Elsewhere, another force stirs in the shadows. Sheila Sharp, often underestimated but never truly gone, Sheila has been keeping a watchful eye on the chaos from afar. But when Taylor Hayes inadvertently gives away Steffy's location and drops a cryptic clue about a mysterious fortune teller named Ms. Sunshine, Sheila's instincts kick in. Something's not right. Something is happening, and Steffy is in trouble. For reasons known only to her, Sheila decides to act. Is it redemption she seeks? Or is this just another step in her twisted game? In a show known for dramatic turns and shocking confrontations, Friday's episode promises to be a high-octane thriller. It's a culmination of weeks of tension and foreshadowing. Luna is no longer the innocent girl who walked into Forrester Creations with wide eyes and big dreams. She's transformed, haunted by the past, driven by emotion, and now holding her former idol hostage. The question on everyone's mind is simple. How far will Luna go? And will Steffy survive the night? Even as Ridge tightens the net around Luna, even as Sheila races toward the danger, and even as Steffy stares death in the face, there's another twist coming. One that will flip the script entirely. This Friday, loyalty will be tested, lives will hang in the balance, and one bullet may decide the fate of three powerful women. Stay with us as we dive deeper into this unforgettable day, where destinies collide and the line between love and vengeance grows dangerously thin. While chaos brews at the beach house, the walls of Forrester Creations echo with tense whispers and hurried footsteps. The design office, usually a place of vision boards and couture dreams, has become a temporary war room. Command central for Ridge Forrester, Hope Logan, and Liam Spencer. Ridge paces near the drafting table, jaw clenched, fists curled tightly at his sides. The news about Luna's escape has hit hard. He had hoped that the sting operation involving young Will Spencer would be the end of the madness. Instead, Luna slipped through their fingers, and now she's not only missing, she's dangerous. Hope sits at the edge of the work table, her face pale, her eyes wide with concern. "We should have seen the signs," she murmurs, her voice laced with guilt. "She was unraveling, Ridge. You saw it too. This obsession with Steffy. It's not new." Liam nods in agreement, arms crossed over his chest. She was fixated. But this, holding Steffy at gunpoint, we didn't think it could go that far. Ridge turns to them both, his voice low but firm. "I don't care what we thought. I care about what we do now. Luna's out there and Steffy's not picking up her phone. That's not like her." There's a moment of heavy silence before Ridge speaks again. "I've already called Deputy Chief Baker. I want every unit on this. Roadblocks, surveillance. If Luna's armed and dangerous, she's not just a runaway anymore. She's a threat to my daughter, and I swear I won't let anything happen to Steffy." His words hang in the air like thunder, a mix of fatherly fear and righteous fury. This isn't just a CEO issuing commands. This is a man ready to take on the world to protect his family. Liam, trying to keep the situation grounded, asks, "What if she's just trying to scare Steffy? Maybe it's a bluff, some way of forcing a confession or clearing her name." But Ridge shakes his head. "You weren't there when Luna snapped. You didn't see her eyes. That wasn't just anger. That was someone on the edge." Hope, her hands clasped tightly, chimes in. "What about Finn? Can we reach him? He and Steffy were supposed to have dinner tonight. Maybe she's with him." Ridge pulls out his phone, attempts a call, and curses under his breath when it goes straight to voicemail. He's not answering either, and neither is Taylor. "I don't like this. I don't like this at all." Just then, a text pings on Hope's phone. It's a cryptic message from Taylor. "I need to talk. It's about Luna, and something Steffy should never have heard." Hope reads it aloud, and all three go still. Ridge narrows his eyes. What the hell does that mean? Hope speculates quietly. Maybe it's about that fortune teller, Miss Sunshine. Remember? That's what Hayes called the woman Finn brought home. It was all so strange. Luna knew something, maybe too much. Ridge grabs his keys. "Whatever it is, I'm not waiting around for more clues. Luna's dangerous, and Steffy might already be in her sights. I'm going to find Baker and track them both down." As he storms out, Hope and Liam exchange a worried glance. For a moment, the fashion world around them fades, replaced by something darker, more urgent. Hope whispers, "If Luna really has a gun, this won't end with words." And somewhere in the distance, the wind shifts over the ocean, carrying with it the weight of secrets, betrayal, and the chilling possibility that someone might not make it out alive. The ocean crashes softly in the background, but the air inside the secluded beach house is anything but serene. The waves might whisper peace, but inside the glass-walled living room, silence has turned deadly. Luna Nozawa stands with her hand trembling but firm around the grip of a small silver pistol. Her dark eyes burn with fury, pain, and something else, something fractured. Across from her, Steffy Forrester stands frozen. The confident COO, always polished and in control, now finds herself staring down a woman, unraveling before her very eyes. But Steffy doesn't beg. She doesn't plead. Her gaze remains locked on Luna's, unblinking, her tone low and measured. "Put the gun down, Luna. This isn't who you are." But Luna laughs, a short, bitter sound. "You don't know who I am," she spits. "You never did. You never cared to. To you, I was just some intern, someone to mold, someone to dismiss." "I never dismissed you," Steffy replies, voice firm despite the fear in her chest. "You were talented. You are talented. You started making decisions that weren't yours to make." Luna's voice cracks, the rage trembling on the edge of grief. "And you think you get to decide who belongs in that company? In this family? You manipulated everyone. You turned my own family against me. You turned me against myself." Steffy carefully shifts her weight. She knows Luna's not thinking clearly, knows that one wrong word, one startled movement, could end everything. But she also knows she has to try to get through to her. "This is about more than Forrester Creations, isn't it?" Steffy says softly. "This is about you, about your mother, about secrets that were never yours to carry." Luna flinches and the gun lowers, just slightly. "My whole life has been a lie," Luna whispers. "And you exposed it. You destroyed everything I had with RJ, with my mom. Now Will's scared of me. The cops are after me, and you just go on living your picture-perfect life." Steffy's voice tightens. "My life is far from perfect, but I've never held a gun to someone's head and expected that to fix anything." Luna's hands shake now, but she doesn't drop the weapon. Instead, her expression shifts. It's no longer fury, it's desperation. "I didn't come here to kill you," she says. "I came here to make you understand, to make you feel what I felt, every second of this nightmare." Steffy, sensing a sliver of hope, softens her tone further. "Then talk to me, without the gun. We can fix this, Luna, but not like this." Suddenly, a shadow appears in the doorway. "Luna," comes a familiar voice, half alarmed, half soothing. "Please, don't do this." It's Sheila Sharp. She steps into the room slowly, hands up, her green eyes flicking between the two women. For a beat, all three freeze. "What the hell are you doing here?" Steffy hisses. But Luna is stunned. "Grandma?" she whispers. Sheila nods, her voice trembling but firm. "Yes, sweetheart, I came to help you. I know what you've been through. I know what Steffy's done. But this isn't the way." Luna's grip tightens again. "Don't come any closer." Sheila stops in her tracks. I'm not here to stop you, I'm here to save you from ruining your life. Tears finally fall down Luna's face. The girl beneath the rage is breaking through. Her shoulders sag, the gun dips lower. But before anyone can move, a loud bang echoes through the beach house. Time freezes, someone screams, smoke curls in the air, and as the shot fades into silence, no one yet knows who's been hit or how this standoff just changed everything. Hours earlier, long before the gunshot shattered the stillness of the beach house, Sheila Sharp sat across from Taylor Hayes in a dimly lit corner of the Cliffside Cafe. They hadn't spoken in months. Ever since Taylor had refused to attend Sheila's latest plea for reconciliation, but today's meeting felt different. Urgent, uneasy. Taylor's hands trembled slightly as she stirred her tea, avoiding eye contact. I didn't know who else to call, she said quietly. I think something's seriously wrong with Luna. Sheila raised an eyebrow, her usual smug confidence giving way to concern. Wrong how? She's been through a lot, sure, but dangerous? Taylor finally looked up, eyes clouded with guilt. She came to see me a few days ago. She said she was hearing voices, not literal ones, but memories. That she was haunted by the past. She mentioned someone called Ms. Sunshine, a fortune teller or mystic maybe? Hayes said Finn brought her home. Sheila frowned. Ms. Sunshine, that creepy woman with the wild hair and glass beads? I thought she was just a sideshow attraction. Taylor leaned in, whispering now. That woman planted something in Luna's head. Some prophecy about justice, vengeance, cleansing the Forrester name. I didn't think much of it. I thought it was just metaphoric, until now. Sheila sat back in her chair, her expression darkening. Where's Steffy? Taylor hesitated, visibly torn between duty and dread. She said she was going to the beach house, alone. That was all Sheila needed to hear. Without finishing her drink, she stood abruptly, her purse slung over her shoulder like a shield. If you're right, Taylor, then Steffy is walking straight into a trap. Taylor grabbed her arm. Wait, what are you gonna do? Sheila turned, her voice barely a whisper. What I always do, protect my family, even the ones who wish I didn't exist. Back in the present, after speeding down the Pacific Coast Highway like a woman possessed, Sheila burst into the beach house, just in time to find Luna, tears streaming, a gun in her shaking hand. And Steffy silent, standing her ground as if sheer willpower could stop a bullet. In that moment, everything came flooding back for Sheila. Her own past, her violent outbursts, the people she had threatened, hurt, nearly destroyed. Luna wasn't just another victim of circumstance, she was her granddaughter, and Sheila could see it in her eyes. That same fire, that same pain, that same reckless hunger for justice. But where Sheila once embraced that darkness, she now feared it. Because it wasn't just about Luna anymore. It was about what happened when she let the darkness win. She took a risk stepping between the two women. It wasn't strategy, it was instinct. A mother's instinct. A grandmother's guilt. You don't want to do this, she told Luna. You think it will make it better, but it won't. The pain won't go away. You'll just bury it under more regret. Luna's hand shook as she turned to Sheila, her voice cracking. You don't get to lecture me. You're you. You destroyed lives. I know, Sheila admitted softly. That's why I'm here. So you don't become me. And then the shot rang out. Whether it was intentional or not, no one could say. Maybe Luna's finger slipped. Maybe Sheila moved at the last second. Maybe the universe intervened. But now someone was bleeding, and the storm had only just begun. The ringing from the gunshot lingered in the air like a scream that refused to end. For one endless moment, no one moved. No one spoke. The only sound was the distant crash of waves against the shoreline and the shallow, panicked breaths of three women locked in a hellish tableau. Luna was the first to react. Her eyes widened in horror as she stared at the weapon still trembling in her hands. Her voice came out in a whisper, more like a gasp. I didn't. Across from her, Steffy stood frozen, her hands still raised, heart pounding in her ears. But it wasn't her blood on the floor. It was Sheila. The gunshot had struck her in the left shoulder, sending her crashing against the wall and sliding down to the floor. Blood seeped through her blouse, dark and spreading, but her eyes remained open, burning with a mixture of pain and something much deeper, recognition. I knew it, she croaked. You're like me. Luna dropped the gun with a sharp clatter. It echoed through the room like a final note of madness. She rushed toward Sheila, panic now overtaking anger. No, I didn't want to hurt you. But Steffi surged forward, grabbing Luna by the wrist and yanking her back before she could kneel at her grandmother's side. "You shot her," Steffi hissed, her voice low and shaking. "You almost killed her." Luna, trembling, looked between Steffi and Sheila as if her mind were snapping in two. "I didn't come here to do this. I just wanted you to listen. I wanted someone to understand." Steffi shoved her toward the sofa, keeping her at bay. "You're going to sit down, and you're going to stay there until the police arrive. Don't even think about running." But Luna didn't move. Her knees buckled and she collapsed onto the rug, covering her face with both hands. "I messed up. I've ruined everything." Sheila, still conscious but weakening, chuckled bitterly from the floor. "You think this is ruined? Sweetheart, this is just beginning." Steffi grabbed a towel from the nearby kitchen and pressed it against Sheila's wound. Despite everything, the betrayals, the threats, the years of trauma, Steffi wasn't about to let anyone die on her watch. "I need to stop the bleeding," she muttered. Sheila's breath hitched. "Don't act like you care." "I don't," Steffi shot back. "But I care about not having another death on my conscience." Suddenly, headlights flashed outside. The sound of tires on gravel, sirens in the distance. Reinforcements were coming. Luna heard it too. Her head snapped up. "Please, I didn't mean for it to go this far. If they take me, they'll never believe I didn't want to kill anyone." Steffi stared at her for a long moment, something unreadable in her eyes. "Then you better start talking, now." Outside, Ridge's car screeched to a halt in the driveway. He barely waited for it to park before throwing the door open and sprinting toward the beach house. Liam and Deputy Chief Baker followed close behind, flashlights already cutting through the darkness. Inside, Steffi stood tall. Between a bleeding Sheila and a crumpled Luna, she looked like a survivor emerging from a battlefield. Ridge burst through the front door, wild-eyed. "Steffi?" She turned toward him, a flicker of relief crossing her face. "I'm okay, but she's not." She pointed to Sheila. "She took the bullet." Ridge looked down at Luna, shaking in the corner. "Get the cuffs," he barked at Baker. But Baker paused. "Is she resisting?" Steffi hesitated. "No, she gave up." Ridge looked at his daughter, then at Luna, then at Sheila bleeding on the floor. "What the hell happened here?" Steffi took a breath, then answered. "Everything." The flashing red and blue lights painted the walls of the beach house in pulses of tension. Emergency responders filed in like a wave. Medics, officers, detectives, each bringing urgency and official protocol into a room that had already been soaked in fear and silence. Sheila Sharp, pale and barely conscious, was strapped onto a stretcher, her wound hastily dressed by paramedics. The bullet had torn through her shoulder but missed any major arteries. For a woman who had dodged justice so many times, she'd now taken a bullet trying to prevent another crime, a twist no one, not even Sheila herself, could have predicted. As the paramedics wheeled her out, Sheila locked eyes with Luna for a fleeting second. There was no hatred, no rage, only something disturbingly calm. "You get one chance to come back from this," she murmured. "Don't waste it like I did." Then she was gone. Luna, handcuffed and seated on the sofa under Deputy Chief Baker's watchful eye, looked down at the blood on her hands. It wasn't just Sheila's blood anymore. It was the symbolic weight of everything she'd broken: trust, family, love, and her own future. Steffi stood nearby, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Her hands still shook, but her voice was clear. "She could have killed me," she said to Ridge. "I know," Ridge replied. His voice was full of anger, but also weariness. "And somehow Sheila saved your life." That irony sat in the room like a ghost. Hope and Liam had arrived by now, ushered in by officers. Hope moved quickly to Luna, her face a mask of disbelief. What happened to you?" Luna looked up, her eyes bloodshot and wet. "I didn't mean to shoot her. I wanted Steffi to understand. I was going to make her listen." Hope's eyes brimmed with tears. "You could have died tonight. You could have killed someone. What did it come to, Luna? Was any of it worth this?" Luna didn't answer. Ridge approached Deputy Baker. "You're going to press charges?" Baker nodded. "She's being taken in for aggravated assault, illegal possession of a firearm, and attempted murder until we determine otherwise. She's lucky Sheila isn't dead, or this would be a homicide case." Hope turned to Ridge, quietly pleading. "She needs help, not just a jail cell." "She needs both," Ridge said coldly. She crossed a line that can't be undone. Outside, the air was crisp. Coastal fog had started to roll in, mixing with the flashing police lights to create a dreamlike haze. Sheila was loaded into an ambulance, eyes fluttering. For all her crimes, all her misdeeds, she had done something undeniably selfless tonight. But whether it was enough to redeem her in the eyes of those she'd hurt, especially Steffy, remained to be seen. Inside, the crime scene was still being documented. Officers collected the gun, took photos, and asked Steffy to give an official statement. She nodded, still numb. "I told her the truth," Steffy said. "That we weren't enemies, that she made herself into one." Luna looked up. "Because you never believed in me. None of you did." "No," Steffy replied quietly. "Because you stopped believing in yourself." A long silence followed. Finally, Ridge stepped in. "Take her." As Luna was led away in cuffs, tears streaming down her face, she glanced back once more. At Hope, at Steffy, at the life that was now behind her. She was no longer the bright intern who once dreamed of silk patterns and runway lights. She was now the girl who had aimed a gun at her mentor and shot her own grandmother. Back at the precinct, Luna sat in an interrogation room, wrapped in a gray blanket, staring at the floor. She barely registered the noise around her. The clinking of keys, the clicking of pens, the distant conversations of officers. She was alone now, and for the first time, she felt the full weight of it. Her phone confiscated, her future uncertain, her mind a blur, and still no one had told RJ yet. Meanwhile, Ridge and Steffy returned home, both emotionally spent. "Did you ever think it would be Sheila who'd save your life?" Ridge asked. "No," Steffy whispered, "but I don't know what to do with that." Neither of them did. And somewhere in a hospital room, under sedation, Sheila drifted into a restless sleep, her dreams haunted not by what she had done in her life, but by what she had stopped someone else from doing. For the first time, she wondered if maybe, just maybe, she had changed. But with Luna's trial approaching, the Forrester family fractured, and RJ still unaware of the truth, the battle was far from over. The dust may have settled at the beach house, but the emotional wreckage is far from cleared. The events of Friday, July 4th, will echo for weeks across Los Angeles, and the lives of the Forrester, Logan, Spencer, and Nozawa families will never be the same again. In the early hours of Saturday morning, Ridge sits alone in his office at Forrester Creations, replaying every second of the last 12 hours in his mind. His daughter could have died. His granddaughter by blood, Luna, pulled a trigger, and the woman he once called the ultimate enemy, Sheila Sharp, risked her life to protect his family. Nothing makes sense anymore. Brooke enters quietly, reading the exhaustion on his face before she speaks. "You don't have to do this alone." "I'm not sure how to do it with anyone," then, Ridge mutters. "I promised Liam and Hope that I'd get justice, but now, what do I even call this? Redemption? Delusion? Madness?" Brooke places a hand on his shoulder. "Call it complicated, because that's what it is. Sheila's done unforgivable things, but last night, she didn't act like a monster." Meanwhile, at the hospital, Sheila is recovering slowly. The doctors say she'll pull through. She insists she doesn't want visitors. But one arrives anyway. Finn. He walks into the room quietly, setting down a bouquet of white lilies beside her bed. Sheila smirks weakly. "Didn't think you'd show." "I didn't come to forgive you," Finn says. "I came to ask why." "Because Luna's still just a kid," she replies. "A broken one, sure. But she didn't deserve to go down the same path I did." Finn stares at her for a long moment. "So you saved Steffy? To save yourself?" Sheila shrugs. "Maybe, or maybe I just didn't want to bury another child in my family." Across town, Hope visits Luna in jail. The young designer looks pale, thinner, her eyes haunted. "You didn't come to scream at me?" Luna asks, voice brittle. "No," Hope says softly. "I came to tell you. I won't stop caring about you. Not even after this. But caring doesn't mean I condone what you did." Luna nods, ashamed. "I lost everything." "Not everything," Hope replies. "RJ hasn't said a word yet, but knowing him, he'll come see you when he's ready." Tears pool in Luna's eyes. "He shouldn't. He deserves better." "Maybe," Hope says gently. "But sometimes love doesn't care what we deserve." RJ Forrester, for his part, is still processing. He hasn't returned calls, hasn't posted anything. But behind closed doors, he's rewatching old videos of Luna laughing, designing, holding his hand on the beach. The betrayal is sharp, but the love is still there. Will he forgive her, or walk away forever? And then there's Steffy. Back at the beach house, now spotless again, she stands barefoot on the deck, staring at the waves. Haze plays in the sand a few feet away, safe, innocent. She picks up a small seashell and clutches it in her palm. "Everything changes now," she whispers. No more illusions, no more pretending we're safe, just because we have walls. She turns as Finn steps onto the deck behind her. No words are needed, just his arms around her. They survived. But the question remains, what comes next? Coming next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna faces her arraignment. Will Sheila testify in her favor or against her? RJ makes a surprise decision. Will he stand by Luna or close the door for good? Hope and Steffy find unexpected common ground, while Liam grows suspicious of Ridge's next move. Taylor uncovers more about Ms. Sunshine's prophecy and what it might mean for the Forrester legacy. And Sheila receives an anonymous letter that could unravel her fragile redemption. Don't miss a moment. The storm may be over, but the aftershocks are just beginning. In the glamorous yet perilous world of the bold and the beautiful, beauty often masks chaos, and loyalty is tested by blood, betrayal, and the shadows of the past. The events of July 4th have shattered illusions and forced every character to confront the darkest parts of themselves, and those they thought they knew best. Luna Nozawa's breakdown wasn't just the act of a young woman pushed too far, it was the symptom of deeper wounds, silenced truths, and a family history tangled in secrets. Her fall from grace is tragic, but it also opens a window for reflection. Can someone broken still be saved, or are some paths too dark to return from? Steffy, having stood on the edge of life and death, emerges changed, stronger, colder, but perhaps more aware of the fragility that underlies even the strongest facades. Ridge, torn between justice and redemption, must now lead a family that may never fully trust itself again. And Sheila, always a wild card, has rewritten her story in a way no one expected. Not with schemes or threats, but by throwing herself into the fire for someone else. Is it redemption, or the beginning of another manipulation? One thing is certain. The Bold and the Beautiful is no longer just about fashion, fame, or fortune. It's about survival, about truth, about the invisible lines that separate love from hate, loyalty from obsession, family from foe. As the credits roll on this explosive episode, viewers are left not just with questions, but with chills. What comes next could change everything. Don't forget to leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel for more B&B updates, spoiler breakdowns, and exclusive analysis. What do you think will happen next? Will RJ forgive Luna? Can Sheila truly change? And will Steffy ever feel safe again? Share your theories below. Until next time, stay bold, stay beautiful.